Hi, I'm Ryan, your guide to the tech trail. Today we're going to be opening up a simple email account using Gmail. So since I need to create a new account anyway, why don't you join me as I do so? So let's get started. On our desktop, we're going to open the Edge browser, left click. Now we're going to go to gmail.com. And we're going to do that in this box up here. So gmail.com. You could put the www in front of that, but gmail.com works just fine. Enter. So now we're to the Gmail sign-in page, but what we want is this button right here, Create Account. Left click that. We have three options. We can create a Gmail account for our work or business. That's not currently what we want. We can also create a Gmail account for my child. That gives extra security features since it's geared for children, but we don't want that one either. We're wanting to create an account for personal use, so this is just for my personal use. Going to left click that. Now we're going to put in our first name, and optionally we can put in our last name, but I'm going to choose not to for now. Left click next. Now Google is asking for some basic information, specifically our birth date and our gender. If we want to learn more why Google asked for this information, we can click on this link here. But essentially, certain features and services on Google require a user to be over 18 years of age, and thus that's why they ask. So now we've come to our username. We can get creative here, but there's a few things to keep in mind. For one, it needs to be something that we can easily remember. And then two, other people, our friends and our family, will use this email address to email us. So we want to make sure that it's something that we're proud of, that won't embarrass us over time, but that we just like, that we're good with for however long that we have this email address. Two, we can use letters, numbers, and periods, so it allows us to be a little bit more creative. It could be a phrase that we like or a nickname that we have. But one thing to keep in mind is that that name may already be taken. So if we try something generic, such as my new email, and we try to get that username, we hit next, then it will tell us that that username is taken. Try another. Now here we've come to the password page. Now the password for your account is very, very important because, as we know, it keeps our account secure and safe so that no one gets inside of our email without our permission. So to make a strong password, as it says here, a mix of letters, numbers, and symbols is very, very important. So we want to stay away from generic passwords like 1234 or password or something that's easily guessable like that. But phrases with a mixture of numbers and symbols work great. Let's try one just as an example, and this is not my password, but I'm just showing you an example of what a strong password could look like. So I'm going to click this box to show the password. Let's try a mixture of uppercase and lowercase letters. So this is a pretty long and substantial password, but it's a phrase. I love to go fishing. And then there's a specific set of numbers afterwards, odd numbers, and then some symbols afterward. That is a pretty secure password. It could be more secure, but that's a lot better than something simple such as 1234 or the word password. So now we're going to delete that. I'll put in my real password. And then I'll hit next. So now we're to adding a recovery email. Now what does that mean? Well, in the event that you get locked out of your account, a recovery email allows you to easily access your account again. So for instance, if you put in a recovery email of, say, your spouse, and you get locked out of your own personal account, then you can go through your spouse's email to get a recovery link that will allow you to access your email again. But at this time, we don't have one. We can add one later, but let's just hit skip for now. Left click that. This page is dealing with Google's privacy and terms. So they outline the data that they process when you use Google, and then just as important, why they process it. So essentially, if you search for candles, then you're going to see more ads from Google about candles because that's more relevant to you. They're going to deliver more personalized ads. Now, it mentions a few other things that are good to keep in mind. So this page is good to look over, to feel comfortable with. But at the bottom, we have some choices. So we can choose to save my web and app activity in my Google account. So my history, things of that nature. Or we can choose to don't save my web and app activity in my Google account. Google can show you ads based on your activity on Google services. So again, if we search for candles, do we want to see ads about candles and things of that nature? YouTube history. It saves the YouTube videos you watch and the things you search for on YouTube. This helps Google give you better recommendations, remember where you left off, and more. Now that we're comfortable with that, we can left click I agree. So here we are. Our new Gmail account is created and ready to receive email. And congratulations on your new email account too. So let's begin by having an overview of how your inbox is organized. So when you receive a new email, Google will separate it into 3 sections for the most part to keep your inbox organized. So for instance, the majority of your email will go into this primary section. But promotions, say websites that are having a sale, things like that, they will be split and those will go here. If we left click there, then all of those emails will show up here. Emails from social networking, Facebook, Instagram, they will show up here. So that way it helps keep your inbox a little less cluttered so that you can focus on what's really important to you. So now that's that section. Let's move over to the left side. Now, there's a number of different sections here that we'll learn about more in the future as we dig deeper into email, but for now, let's just focus on this button here, the Compose button. If we left click that, now we are ready to write an email. But you'll notice that there's a number of different sections here that we need to take notice of. We begin by looking in this section here. It says To. So this is where we would put the email address of the recipient of our email. So let's send an email to ourselves. Okay, so now that that's in, the box below that is the subject box. So that's the first thing that the individual who sees this email is going to see. How about we try, this is my first email. Okay, so now we've got our subject line. This section here is where we compose our email. If we left click in that, this is my first email and I am very excited to get started. So there we go. We have our email going to ourselves in this case. We have our subject line, and then we have the body of the email. Now, there's a number of different icons down here that we can think about, but for right now, let's just focus on one, and that's the send button. Once our email is completely finished and we're ready to send it, we just left click this. Our email is sent, but now in our inbox, it shows that we have one unread email. This is who it's from me, and look, there's our subject line. Now if we want to open this email, then we just left click it, and we see what we wrote earlier. This is my first email and I'm very excited to get started. So now let's reply to the email. So let's say that we wrote someone, they wrote us back, and we'd like to write them back. Well, that's where the reply button comes in. If we left click that, here we can send a simple message back to them. So we simply said, thank you for writing back. When we're done, we left click, send. And now that individual is going to receive that email back. But now how do we delete an email? Let's say that we don't need it anymore. There's a few ways to do this. But one way is in the email itself, we can left click this little trash can here. And if we do that, that will delete the email. Now there's another way to do it as well. Let's say that we have a number of emails in our inbox that we want to delete. We just don't need them. A fast way to do that is beside every single email to the left of it is this checkbox. If we check that, we've selected that email. And we can do that for any of the emails that are in our inbox. Once we've selected all the ones that we want to delete, then we can hit the trash can again. And that deletes them as well. But what if you accidentally delete something and you want to get it back? Well, the great thing about Gmail is that when you delete something, it goes immediately to the trash folder and it stays there for 30 days. So nothing is gone instantly, which is very helpful. In order to find the trash folder, it's pretty simple. On this left side, you have a number of options. If you left click more, and then right here it is, trash. If we left click that. So here is that email that we deleted earlier. Now we have a few options. We can choose to empty trash now, and that deletes everything in the trash folder immediately so that it's completely gone. Or we can right click it, and then if we left click move to inbox, that essentially restores it back to where it was. So if we left click the inbox, the email is back. But what if we want to keep our inbox a little bit more organized? Well, that's where labels come in. So let's say that you receive a lot of emails from family, but you also receive a lot of emails regarding a hobby that you have. Well, this is what we can do. By labels, if we left click the plus sign, it says please enter a new label name. What if we just put family? Now let's not focus on this for now, but we can get more granular with it in the future. But for now, we can just hit create. And now we have a new label called family. So let's write another email to ourselves. My family, for the subject line. Hello there. So now we're going to send that to ourselves. Now let's say that we want to group this email under the family label. Well, how we do that? We can do that in a few ways. For one, we can left click, hold, and then drag it down to the family label. That email is under the family label. That way we can keep them all organized. The same process is true if we have a hobby that we like and we get emails regarding that hobby, we can drag them there. So it's just another way to keep our inbox organized. In today's video, you've taken your first steps towards using email in your everyday life. Good job. If this video helped you, join me on the trail by subscribing. Thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. I'm Ryan, your tech guide, and I'll see you on the trail.